Welcome to the Primo's Musings podcast.
Good evening. This is Shri here with the Day 5 recap of the French Open. The French Open is slowly getting into high gear with some impressive wins by some of the favorites in the draw. Let's start off with Medvedev, who actually had a walkover. He was actually winning big against Kekmanovic, 6-1, 5-0, when Kekmanovic had to give a walkover to Medvedev. So Medvedev, sails through into the third round. Other impressive winners include Dimitrov, who was actually in the final for the Miami Open, and he lost to Sinner in the Miami Open, and he had a very impressive. He's ranked number 10 in the world, and won pretty easily in straight sets. From an American standpoint, we did see Tiafoe, who was in a big battle with our Canadian friend Shapovalov, and he fell to Shapovalov in 4 sets. Zverev continued his amazing after a pretty emotional win against Nadal, which I'm sure it felt like he played a final, played against Goffin, and won. The first set was a battle for him, won in tiebreaker, but the next 2 sets he breezed through it, and he's into the third round as well. Djokovic has been very impressive. The first 2 matches easily won against Spaniard Carbelas Baena, and 6-4, 6-1, 6-2. So that sets him up well against Musetti, I believe. And then Tommy Paul, very impressive. He just beat the Italian Fognini. 6-1, 6-0, 6-2. Can't win anything better than that. Showed excellent form, great strokes all around the court, and really, he has a chance to go deep into this as well. And then one of the guys I did pick in the quarterfinals, de Minaur, he had a pretty straight set victory as well. Now, Rune and Rune, these are the 2 players, who have a lot of promise over the last 2 years. And Rune actually has been in the final in the French Open, has been actually into 3 finals in the French, or 2 finals in the French Open, and 1, I believe, in the U.S. Open against Alcaraz. And he had a very, very tough match against Davidovich Fokina, and he had to take the distance, went up to the 5th set, won the first set pretty in a tiebreaker, but lost the 2nd, the 4th set. So it's a great comeback for him against his opponent. And then Rune is another player that we were talking about, Dr. Dan and I were talking about, but he won the first 2 sets pretty easily, but went to the 3rd set, lost the 3rd and 4th sets, and then in the 5th set went to a tiebreaker, and he was actually down 5-0 in the tiebreaker before winning 10-7. So that was a great wake-up call for him. After winning the first 2 sets, I'm sure he would have been disappointed if he had lost that match. So I'm going to give him a lot of credit for staying in the game. But one of the upsets, this is a guy I actually picked to go to the quarterfinals, Kachanov. He won the first 2 sets, but lost the next 3 sets against Kowalik. So that's a surprise result as far as I'm concerned. And of course, Taylor Fritz won in 4 sets as well. So on the women's side, young Andreeva won against another Grand Slam champion, Azarenka. Great win for her as well. And again, good to see Bianca Andreescu from Canada beating Kalinskaya in 3 sets as well. We haven't heard much about Bianca in a while in a major, so good win for her as well. And then Emma Navarro from the U.S., she won in straight sets as well. And Madison Keys sails through in her match against Sheriff. And Danielle Collins, again, she's been red hot. And if there is one upset in the women's matches today, it was Danielle Collins. And she won the first set 7-6, but lost the second set 7-5 and third set 6-4. So Danimal is out of the French Open, and that's actually pretty sad because she's someone she's announced her retirement. She's actually played impressive. She's won a couple of tournaments, the Miami one and then the Charleston one, and then tough for her to bow out of the French Open. And Rybakina, she's been one of the favorites I picked, to go further. She won in straight sets. So did Sabalenka as well. So, some of the favorites have easily, gone through to the third round as well. So when we talk about the men's singles, the preview, we do have Sinner tomorrow, Rublev as well, and then Hurkacz playing Shapovalov. Then you have Tsitsipas playing Zhang, and Ben Shelton playing FAA. That's a very interesting matchup. And then in the late match, Sebi Korda is going to play against Alcaraz. A lot of very interesting matchups that we have on the men's side. And on the women's side, you do have Coco Gauff playing against Yastremska, and Leila Fernandez playing against Jabeur. So two finalists there that you're going to see. And Iga Swiatek again, what an impressive win she had yesterday against Osaka. She's also on tap to play. Another Grand Slam champion, Wondrosa, is also up on the third round tomorrow. So that's where we are. It's definitely in a good place right now. French Open has got a lot of good players, and I think just to look at, on Saturday you have Djokovic also playing against Musetti, Cerundolo, Paul. The winner of that would play the winner of Djokovic-Musetti match, and then you got Taylor Fritz playing against Kokkinakis, and not someone who have not heard in a while because he usually plays doubles. And so looking forward to a lot of these great matches, and on Friday as well and Saturday as well. And thank you again for listening, and have a good night.
Thank you for listening. Primo will be back soon.